Hey everyone, it's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Thanks for coming by to check out another video. Yes, it is that time again. It is time to get another one of those boxes from that big storage unit purchase that I made and go through it and start processing it. I have not touched or looked in another one of those boxes since the last time that I did one of these boxes before. Now I'm going to put all of these storage unit unboxings into a playlist that you could go watch. If you haven't seen the other videos, I will link to one of them at the end. So you'll get a chance to go over and see some of those other ones if you haven't, including the original video where I obtained all this stuff originally. Now this is, if you didn't see those original videos, this is a bunch of mostly Dungeons and Dragons books and comic books and random kind of odds and ends collectibles here and there that kind of pop up. So it's really kind of interesting. We are going to grab, like, I kind of have like one in mind that we're going to get. The reason, by the way, why you see a bunch of other clutter here on this side of the garage is because there's some stuff here that Mrs. Primetime, my wife, has brought out here that we're going to be selling in a garage sale. So you'll see like some of these like bigger furniture pieces over here. So, and some of this stuff we're going to flip on Craigslist too. So we do a little bit of that as well. So it is time to grab one of these boxes. There are people who have been demanding seeing my dog Daisy some more. So we're going to get Daisy on. She has a little haircut. So, you know, she always comes over and does quality control inspection. So she'll be doing that in a minute. And let me show you something for the Daisy fans out here. If you saw this, you might be wondering and say, why the heck do you have a stroller here? That is not a stroller for our kids. Our kids are way too old for that. They're like 13 and 15. This is a stroller for Daisy. So Mrs. Primetime will actually push Daisy around this little stroller. So, geez, I don't do that, but Mrs. Primetime does. So anyway, the box that I have in mind here is this one right here. This is the one I want to go through. Because it's not comic books and, or at least it doesn't look like it, but there's all sorts of, you know, it looks like cool fantasy books and maybe some other collectibles in there. Now, Mrs. Primetime prefers to go over the comics, so I don't know. We may grab another box here that has comic books as well, but we're at least going to start off with this one, and we'll see what we get out of here. So we're gonna go in and you know, relax and bring Daisy in. Mrs. Primetime, of course, she won't go on camera ever, but you know, who knows? Maybe one day. All right, let's bring it in.
See you, Daisy. Oh, I don't know if that's good. Does that mean you smell something good in there? Is there good treasure in there? I know it's not Christmas time, but Miss Primetime put a little Christmas outfit on her. Got a little fire going. Probably the last one of the year. Where you going, Daisy? Come on, we gotta go get some treasures. Let's go find them. All right, I am gonna predict right now that there is something good inside this box, just purely based on the fact that it's inside of a box that says Mini Swirls Fudge Ripple. That is like guaranteed right there that there has to be something good inside there. I mean, that's I never even heard of before. That's awesome. So, all right, Miss Primetime's gonna dig in, start handing me stuff, and we'll see what we got here. It looks exciting. Got a little game. Okay, folks. Well, okay, this is the game I was showing you. It's one of these role-playing games that comes in the boxes. It's not even really that old. It's from 2000. It's called Space Master. Oh wow, Miss Primetime just picked out something cool. I'm gonna show you in just a second. This one could go for, I actually looked the comps up. This one could go for as high as $66 if it is complete. And looking inside, looks like there's a bunch of the stuff that you would need for it. I don't know if it's exactly complete. We've got the player's book in here. Doesn't look like there's any writing, so that's good. And it looks like there's some kind of supplementary material, like some maps and stuff. So I'll have to check. So far, I haven't had the best of luck with these sets that I've come across here as being complete. But even if they're not, you could sell off the parts. Like you could sell off the manual to someone who needs it or something like that. So, you know, I'll find a way to sell them regardless if they're complete or not. Obviously, I hope they are. And this is pretty amazing. Mrs. Primetime just pulled this out of the box. In fact, the box is empty already. Miss Primetime's pulled everything out and she's already sorting through everything. But this looks cool. I love to see a nice old Dungeons and Dragons Notice that it doesn't say Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2 on it. I mean, this is an older set. This one, think this one's got to be from the 80s. Let's see, we've got some, oh, I already have one. Oh, look at this. This is the first time I'm looking at this. So we've got the Player's Guide to the Immortals in there. This might not even be, I don't even think this guy has the game in here. I think he actually used this to store older modules and manuals, although Mrs. Primetime just showed me she found this over here, which is like the bottom part of the case, and that might have some of the stuff that I need in there. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm gonna put this one to the side. We've got a Star Wars Game Master kit here. It doesn't look like there's anything inside of it. It just looks like it's the, because see with these, they open up and they usually have like a trifold or a fourfold opening like this. And so there should be like some sort of manual inside of here, like some paper manual, and there isn't for this one. So it might just be sitting somewhere else. I don't know, we'll have to look for it. This is from 91, so probably not one of the ones that's, you know, super valuable. You're more looking for ones for the 80s that are more valuable ones. Now I have this one, the Isle of Dread, currently up in my eBay store right now. This one is just the cover. See, there's supposed to be an inside component to it. This one has a little staining here. So I actually love this cover. So if I don't have the middle of it, I'll actually probably just use this for decoration somewhere because I love that dinosaur. I've been looking to hopefully get more of these. These are these Marvel superheroes books, and I've been putting them to the side, hopefully to put them in a big lot and sell them off as a lot because they sell really well like that. And so this is one of the older ones. If we look at the year here for this one, let's see where we're at for the year. This is from, you can see here, let's zoom into that. See, this is from the 1980s. So that's a good one. And Miss Primetime just passed this one over to me here, which is a double. This one is obviously in better condition. This one's starting to curl up towards the bottom, you can see. So, you know, I'll have to press that one down with like a bigger book, and that will make it flatter. So we'll just start, and this would be the one that we'd want to list first as opposed to this one. So, but we'll just put them both to the side for now. I know there's some more Marvel ones. I saw her pull some other Marvel ones out of there. These are, looks like some Marvel cards that may go with this. They likely go with this book here. So these are all Marvel characters. Like this is Wolverine. This is Colossus. That's Nightcrawler. There's a bunch. There's a Submariner right here. So there's a bunch of Marvel characters, and it likely goes to that Marvel superheroes book. In fact, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's Iceman. This has got to all go to that set there. So, and yeah, see, it looks like here we've got some more just random stuff, and you know, I'm just gonna have to find what this matches to. Like this matches to one of the module Dungeons and Dragons books, and I'll have to figure out what that goes to. Okay, one of the things I wanted to show you with these maps, if you happen to find these random maps and you're trying to figure out where they go to, just open it up a little bit and look down on the corners, and you could usually see some reference to what it is supposed to go to. Like this one here, I opened a little bit, and then when you look inside of it, you'll find some obvious clues. I mean, right there up top tells you it's Marvel superheroes, and then down here in the corner, it will say that as well. So that's got to go with one of these Marvel superheroes books here. So we'll just put it over there. It looks like that's what it goes to, but it definitely to one of the Marvel books, obviously. But that's how you just, you know, figure these things out. It'll say somewhere on there what it goes to. Now, one of the things that I cannot show you because I will wind up in YouTube jail. I can't seem to get away from this stuff when I buy these types of collections, but there is some very adult rated animated books in here. Here we go. We've got a set, and I know this set, and really with this set, you really need to have book 1 and you need to have book 2. You could technically sell book 1, but book 2 is not going to sell by itself. You have them together, these two are going to sell now. And I know that because I pulled out book 1 in another box and didn't have book 2. So I just put it to the side. I was waiting to find book 2, so here we go. And this is why I'm doing that. Here we go. Here's another book 1. So we've got some multiples here. Wow, Miss Primetime just pulled out a whole bunch of these. This is the player's manual. This one is actually pretty common because this is a main manual for the Dungeons and Dragons series. I just sold an old beat up one of these for like 10 bucks, but this one's in much better shape, so I should be able to get more value out of it. And these are these additional modules to play the game. I've been finding so far that these are generally selling between on average like 15, 20 bucks. There are some higher, like the highest one that I have right now in my store is a $50 one. And then there's another one right here. So this is an old expert rule book. So we've got a bunch of things here. Okay, we're gonna get into this box in just a minute, but found something interesting here that I wanted to pass on to you, because if you see these things, you need to be able to identify them. I'm gonna show you a real easy way to identify them. As soon as Miss Primetime showed them to me, I knew what at least the pink ones are. Okay, these pink ones right here, they're called Muscle Men. These are little tiny action figures that came out in the 1980s, and they are very collectible. There's a total of 235 of them, and if you had all 235, you could sell it for about $350 to $400, probably more towards the $350 range. There are certain ones of these that are worth much more money. The most famous one is known as Satan's Cross, which we do not have, but Satan's Cross has 4 arms. That's how you would identify him. And you know, he could go for a lot of money, like up towards like, you know, $100 or so just for the one figure. But you know, these here, you know, these are more common ones. So when you have like 6 of these like this, like the max you're probably gonna get out of something like this is like 25 bucks. But still, you know, it's an easy, let's say $20 to $25 for some tiny figures that will just go in a first-class mail package. This one here, I'm not sure what it's from, but it's Hasbro on the bottom. And you always want to look at the bottom here to identify. The bottom of the feet usually shows what it is. And sorry, it's a little bit grainy here, but this is a Hasbro 1987 figure. This one here, I couldn't identify any markings underneath, so I'm not quite sure exactly what it's from, but I'll just have to, you know, take some pictures, do a little research, unless someone who's watching this knows exactly what this is. I'm not quite sure, but we will look it up and do a little research on that. So those are the Muscle Men, just so you're aware of those. They're pretty much always pink. Whenever you see these light pink ones, that color, it's pretty distinctive. That's the Muscle Men. So okay, I put the light on above so you could see a little better. This is what I was just trying to tell you. If you come across an action figure, try and do a little research on it, just look right under the feet there, and that gives you a better shot of what I'm trying to tell you there. 1987 Hasbro, and below there it says Takara 1987. So okay, gonna move over to this box here. And again, I think this really is, I'm gonna move this one over here. It's just a regular Forgotten Realms book, but I'll put this one to the side as well, because I really want to get into these modules, and there's some random maps here. But I think this person was just using this box to collect some additional and just kind of random Dungeons and Dragons items that he was just using for storage. And this is cool. Like, this is like an old map to one of the games that someone might be looking for. I'm curious. Yeah, we do have the date here. You know, unfortunately it's 95. I'd be much more excited if this was an 80s item. So looks like he's got a few maps for this series, but still we may be able to sell it off as parts. This one here doesn't have a cover on it. Yes, people will still buy them without the cover, but you know, it's much better obviously if you have the cover on it. So this here is another player's manual, and looks like he's got a bunch of these in here. We've got a master rule book as well. I could do all sorts of different things. Like I could even combine these two together and you know, and sell them as one. And you got to be careful because they look identical, right? But you have to read here. That's the player's manual. That's the Dungeon Master's rule book. So they are actually different books. So just make sure you pay attention to that when you're doing your research and you're listing them. We've got some more of these Dungeon Master's companion books. We've got 2 book 2s. And here we've got the Isle of Dread. Okay, so I know we have that over here somewhere. So let's go take a look. Right here, right? Remember this from before? The Isle of Dread? Well, guess what? Now we have the book that's supposed to go in there. Yes, unfortunately, there's a name written on top, but that's not uncommon with these manuals. A lot of people did that. It does decrease the value a little bit. It's better that it's inside the manual than outside, so we don't have it there. But you know, again, I'll take a book with a manual that has the name written in it versus just a cover and no manual. So this I could still sell. This is cool. The drums on Fire Mountain. I like, again, these old 1980s Dungeons and Dragons books. I said this in prior videos, but look for the item numbers up here, and look for a number and a letter over here as well. These are ways you could research the books on eBay. Just type in the name and also type in this number right here, and that will help you find the books very easily. This doesn't have the inside manual to it here, but it's probably sitting around somewhere else. We've got another expert rule book here. This one looks like it's a 1980s item. Let's go take a look here. Yep, this is 1983. And it looks like, again, we've got a name written in here. But overall, I mean, pretty good condition for a 1983 book. So, you know, someone who really wants that will overlook that for the right price. So you just got to adjust the prices accordingly. This one looks pretty neat. Master's Play Screen featuring the spindle. I've never seen this before. So if you guys love Dungeons and Dragons, you're probably really liking this if this is something you're into. Again, we just have the cover. We don't have the inside of it. Probably sitting around somewhere. Again, we've got another cover with no inside. And here we have a complete expert rule book. So, yep, turns out that this, well, you know what? It says expert rules. And so this had to go with it. The expert rule book right there, that one had to go with it. Okay, so I just did a little bit more research on this because this has been bothering me, trying to figure out what was supposed to originally go inside of this box. Because, you know, this is a really nice vintage set, and if it was complete, I would imagine it would go for some good money. So I looked it up a little bit, and you know, what I found out was this is not just supposed to contain this blue book here. Like, that's what you would naturally think, like it's supposed to contain books that look like this. You know, there was another one here, but turns out that these two are identical. He probably just picked up another one of these down the road at some point, so I'll just use whichever one is in better condition for this set. But in researching it online, what I found is that this box originally came with this expert rule book. It also came with this player's manual. It also came with the Dungeon Master's rule book. It came with the Isle of Dread. It came with the Player's Companion Book 1, Player's Companion Book 2, and it also came with another one of these. This one here, this Player's Manual. So having all of these things together in one set used like this should sell for somewhere around $100. One of these just sold just like this for $110. Now the only exception is that one contains some dice that you need to have the game, but a lot of people who play this game already have the dice, so maybe that's not a big factor or a huge factor. I mean, I'm sure it'll affect the price a little bit. If this was new and sealed, that only actually jumped the price up a little bit on this. That would make it $125. So I'm hoping that this will come along somewhere close to 100. We'll see. There's really not many out there that have the box in any shape or form plus these original manuals. So this is a nice score inside of here. Very happy with this set. So I found the back of this box here, this one over here that we were talking about before. I found the proper back of it. Originally, it was with this one, I believe, and that's not what's supposed to go there. One of the ways you could tell that is you see this number here, it says 1012. Well, this box here says 1013. So those are not, they're not the same. They don't match, they don't go together. But this one on the back does. Now this one doesn't have a number on the side of it anywhere, but what it does do is it matches it up because it says expert set here. And then if you turn around here, you know, you see it says expert rules. In addition, you know, I did research and I know that the Isle of Dread goes in there, and I know that this book goes in there, and those two books are indeed there. And you can see here what I was talking about. These are the dice that are missing, so who knows? They may show up somewhere in another box. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna hold on to this and maybe wait for the dice to show up or not. Maybe, we'll see. All right, well, this deck here has a lot of loose manuals, and that's why if you have, you know, covers that you come across that don't have anything inside of it, that's why you want to make sure that you save it, because you may come across what should go inside of it later on. So like this one here, now we could just open it up, put this one right inside of it, and we're all set. Now we have a sellable piece. Despite the fact that it has some stains, it will still sell. It will just sell at the lower end of the market because of the stains inside of it. But you know, that's all right. This one here, I actually just listed this one today in my eBay store. Now this isn't going to be worth anything because it's hole punched and stuff, so we might just save like this little piece. Like Mrs. Primetime could actually, she could cut this out and maybe even make like you know, combine with some other pieces that we get, like a Dungeons and Dragons decoupage picture frame that contains a whole bunch of you know, vintage scenes like that on the back, and this here, and maybe mix it in with some other ones and just make something unique and artistic. And then we make money that way rather than just throwing it out in the garbage. We find ways to kind of save these things sometimes. And you know, there's some loose covers here as well, and some additional loose books, and I will just hold on to these in a separate area. So then if I come across the loose covers, I just go and match these up, and you know, there we go. Then we have complete sets. There's like some random pieces of paper in here that I'll probably just have to toss. That's gonna happen every once in a while. Like here's another good example. This is a compendium appendix, and it's just missing the inner contents right now. But you know, again, we might come across it in another box. Here's another Marvel Superheroes one that I could just combine and make a nice lot of. So again, these are all 1980s books, and I'm just saving them to the side till we get through the boxes. Got some nice older Dungeons and Dragons books here. This one I already have, I believe this one, I have it right now up for sale in my eBay store, so this one would just be a double. This is the Dark Sun series through Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Forgotten Realms as well. This Robotech book, this is from the early 90s. It's a little bit beat up, but these have sold for as high as around $24 on eBay, but it'll probably go less because it's a little beat up. Of the stuff that I found, this is the one that has the most damage in it, and it's really not looking too good in terms of being able to refurbish this. The only way I would even think of trying something like that would be if this was like, you know, something that was just worth a ton of money, but it looks, you know, relatively newer. It looks like it's probably a 90s book. It's got a bunch of stains inside of it. So, you know, again, I'd have to look it up to see if it's even worth thinking about. I doubt it. In fact, it's even later than that. Yeah, there's no way this is going to have much value. This is a 2000s book here, so this one's probably just going to have to be tossed, or, you know, I could put it in garage sale. We're going to have a garage sale soon. Someone might buy it for that, so maybe we'll do that. We've got a couple smaller books here. Right here. Now, this is too damaged to probably do anything with, but you should know about these. They're called Endless Quest books, and if you find them in good shape, you should pick them up, because the thing that's really cool about these books, I used to read them with my son, is that when you get to the end of certain passages, it will ask you, do you want to go this way? And if so, turn to page, you know, 52. And if you want to go the other way, turn to page 75. Like you can see there, if you choose to return to the ledge, run to the staircase and take your chances and turn to page 39. But if you choose to investigate the corridor you passed earlier, turn to page 129. So that's really cool. There's some of these that go for good money if you find them in good shape. This one's just totally beat up and destroyed, so we can't do anything with it. But look for those. They're called Endless Quest books. Love them, love them, love them. These are Dragonlance books, which I also love. This one, you know, in and of itself wouldn't sell for much, but with Dragonlance paperback books, what you want to do is you want to collect these in lots and sell them off together. Now, a lot of these came in multiple volumes of 3. So you can see here, this is volume 2 of Legends. So you would ideally want 1 and 3 as well. But if you had a big box of like 40 Dragonlance books, even if you did not have all the different volumes, they will still sell. Dragonlance, very, very popular series. It's my personal favorite in terms of a fantasy a series. I used to read it all the time when I was younger. Mrs. Primetime put together another stack here of this Ravenloft. If you remember one of the original unboxings we did, we came across a lot of Ravenloft. So I'm just gonna take this Ravenloft stuff, I'm just gonna put it in with the other Ravenloft stack that I had, and I'm either gonna sell them off piece by piece, or I could make one big massive Ravenloft lot or something like that. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out when we cross that bridge. There's some, we saw that Dark Sun series earlier, and there are a couple of these Dark Sun players books. They don't go for that much individually. That's looks like this, and they just kind of move upwards like this. It's like almost looks like a spiral bound notebook. There's no writing inside of these, so that is good. This is one of them, and then there's another one over here. So you know, this might go for like 10 bucks maybe by itself, but if you could combine it with another one and maybe some other things in this Dark Sun series, maybe you get some more money out of it that way. Over here, I don't know what to tell you on these. These are just some more modern kind of random books. Some of them probably aren't even worth anything. Some of them maybe. Again, I'm gonna make sure I process all that stuff, just do my research on them, and whichever ones you know aren't really worth anything, we'll just toss them in the garage sale. Garage sale is a great place to go and get rid of some things that just won't flip online, or you could rent a table at like a flea market over the summertime as well. We've got 2 other stacks here to go through. Miss Primetime just put these over here. Okay, now this one here, this is a Be on the Lookout title. Cthulhu, if you ever see that, that's a Cthulhu. Originally I know it looks like a G, but it is Cthulhu. You ever see that name, you ever see that in a title, pick it up. Chances are it's worth something. It's very popular. This actually is a hardcover book, and I actually just listed a Cthulhu book today in my eBay store. One like this, like a hardcover like this, could reasonably go for as high as like $50 to $60. So this is definitely a good find to see Cthulhu in here. If you never heard of it, again, make sure you jot that down. That's something good to look for when you're out looking at books. We've got some vampire books. In general, vampires are pretty popular. I actually sold, if you remember from a prior video, I had a werewolf book. I just sold that one, and vampires are very popular as well. What I like to do with books like this that are curling up is I will do some pressing. So I will just take some big heavy medical books, or you could take dictionaries or whatever you want, and just hold it on top of here for a few days, and that will keep this pressed down more so it's not curling up as much. So it's one of the things that I like to do. I haven't looked these up in terms of value, so I'm not sure. These could be a mixture of things that really aren't worth anything versus books that could sell for $20, $30. I'm not sure. There's one more stack over here, and I'm not pointing the camera over there because Mrs. Primetime won't want me to get her socks on camera, or she'll get upset. You could see my socks, but she doesn't want you to see hers. Oh gosh. All right, so we've got Africa, don't know. Again, these might be worth something or not. I mean, the cover's cool. Looks like These are doubles here, so I don't know why the guy has 2 of them, but 4. Rites of Passage, don't know. Miss Primetime is moving. Oh my God, Daisy. Are you kidding me? She's not dead. I promise she's not dead. She is not dead. She is alive. Oh, this is what we do. Let's look at this. Oh my God, Daisy, you gotta be a lady on camera, Daisy. What are you doing, Daisy? Oh my goodness, you gotta zoom in on her there, Daisy. Oh my God. All right, I could zoom in on that all day. I mean, she's just hilarious. But anyway, oh boy. So we've got we've got these books over here again. I'm not seeing anything that like jumps out at me that says, oh well, this is worth a ton. Although this right here, Palladium Books, they do make some books that you know, could go for like $20-$30. So again, I'll have to look that one up. I'm not sure if that one will be one of them, but Palladium Books is a good one. Brady Games, I haven't tended to have a success with that, but here we go again with this Call of Cthulhu. There we go. You know, it's a horror series. I'll look this one up. I'll let you know if this one's worth anything. Yeah, so this is about a $20 book max. So, yeah, not bad for a nice thin little book, but you know, just goes to show you what I was telling you with these Cthulhu books. They do well. Anything vampires, you know, it's pretty much a safe bet if you're picking up these vampire role-playing games. People love that stuff. Here's this New Orleans thing again. I have no idea. Mutant Chronicles, no idea. And this one here, Palladium role-playing game. Now this looks like maybe a little bit older. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, the cover's bent. Let's see here. What year are we dealing with here? April 92, 10th printing. Not sure. I'll look this one up as our last one for this box. Yep, max $25 max on this. So this one will be worth you know, doing some pressing onto the cover. So see, we don't want to deal with that anymore, and we could again fix that. We'll just take a ton of heavy books, keep it on top, and just keep it there for days. And I'm talking like real heavy, thick books, and that will keep that cover down so it's not popping up as much. So that's what you do in those situations. And that's the end of this box. I'm gonna organize it for a moment. And I don't think Daisy is gonna help out at all. She is just completely wiped out. All right, everyone. Well, it turns out that's going to be a wrap. Mrs. Primetime is wiped, and we're just not going to have enough time to get to her comic box. So we'll just do that, and the next time we do an unboxing, we'll do comic books. Daisy woke up a little bit here, but she's pretty wiped out too. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. If so, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow this little Muppet right here, she's at on Instagram at Miss Daisy Wobble. That's MISS_Daisy_Wobble, and you could follow her there. Miss Primetime runs that account, and you could stop by and say hi to Daisy. Also, make sure you come to the Facebook group. We're almost at 8,000 people. That is the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's at prime_time_treasure. I'll see everyone at the next video, everyone. Take care.